Happy New Year's, Airsofters and gear lovers. It's Robo, and I'm back with another Robo-Reviews. And this week, we're gonna take a look at my GoPro and helmet setup. Wrong bucket. My GoPro and helmet setup. Check it out. Magic. So here we have it, my helmet and GoPro setup, as I've been promising you that I would review for you guys. Now what we'll cover in this review is the helmet itself, the cover, the GoPro, the marking and illumination options, plus the battery pack and external GoPro battery setup. And starting with the least of the interesting pieces, and it's kind of ironic because it's a review for a helmet, and that's the helmet itself. This is actually just a repro of a OpsCore base jump helmet. I haven't yet to spend a buttload of money on a real one. That will change this year. But for now, and up until now, this helmet has done me just fine. Despite the really crappy pads on the inside, I still hadn't upgraded those, and mine didn't come with them. You know, on a note on repros, if they work for you and if they're in your budget, I see no problem using them. So you tell any haters out there that Robo says STFU when it comes to you wearing your repros if it suits your needs and suits your budget. This helmet suited my needs, suited my budget up until now. So you might see that change in the future, but for now it's just a repro. I believe it's a TMC repro, not an Emerson. They're quite similar. Now moving on, everybody asks questions about this, and that's the cover that you see here on the helmet. It's actually more expensive than the whole helmet is, which is kind of funny. This is an Orion Design Group, or ODG, fast helmet cover that's manufactured by their friends at London Bridge Trading, or LBT, everybody's favorite, or one of everybody's favorite tactical nylon manufacturers. Now as you can see, this is pretty feature rich. Lots of mesh to let the air vents in the top of the helmet actually flow air through. So that's kind of nice, plus it looks kind of sexy. That is all multicam colored, so is the stretch fabric on the top, as well as all the Velcro that you see. Now there's plenty of shock cord for all of your cable routing needs, as you'll see on the other side of my helmet, or any of your accessory retention needs, whatever that may be. Now a couple cool things about this cover is that underneath it actually attaches to any Velcro or loop that you have already on the helmet, so it actually makes it a lot more stable along the sides. You don't have any shifting of the fabric. And the other really cool thing is it has built-in manta retention, and we'll get to the manta in a second, but this shock cord and little retention piece Velcros down on the back of the helmet. You can't really see it, it's underneath my battery pack, just to make sure that your manta stays in place should it get knocked. But it's just that extra, almost redundant safety system that I'm always about. If it doesn't weigh anything, doesn't cost you anything, and it just kind of provides a positive, then I'm all for it. Now on this cover, you'll see I've got my Perroz Designs IR Canadian flags, just hook and loop Velcroed on there, which is kind of nice on both sides. And these are just some cheapy V-lights. They're actually E-lights, the repros. I've been using them because they get shot out a lot, so I haven't really wanted to buy or invest in real E-lights, or sorry, V-lights, just because I don't want them getting blown up the moment I take them on an airsoft field. So these have done the job. They're both red, so standard on, off, flashing, all that fun stuff. I use those just for kill notification or kill lights in dark or low light situations. Now getting to my manta, I got to give a huge shout out to my friend KY Buzzsaw, or Billy. He actually hooked me up with this manta. Dude, you're so rad for doing so. If you haven't had a manta before, it's just an illumination, both IR and optical illumination or friendly IFF marking device for generally real world operations for to use under night vision. So if you've got a helicopter flying above, you can turn this on and it'll flash in IR so your helicopter pilot knows where you or friendlies are. In this case, you can see that in action, so it's turned on, and now you can't actually see it flashing, but it's flashing in IR. Or again, you can change that to optical, which is blindingly bright. If this was dark, this would probably blow out the sensors on the camera. But it's just kind of a nifty tool to have, plus it looks cool. Now moving to the back pouch, a lot of people ask me questions about this too. This is actually the companion piece to the ODG cover itself. Now this is the ODG counterweight and battery pack pouch that goes along with the cover. And this just attaches on the back with a panel of hook and loop, which is on the back of the helmet itself, and it's securely stays on there. No other need for any other retention, and it offers not only a counterweight section on the inside, which I'll show you, and a battery pack section for any nods you may be carrying, or in this case, my GoPro external battery, and as well as just some shock cord kind of sections where you can stick some CR123 batteries. And obviously I've got just some Ranger eyes back there that glow in the dark for my friendlies behind me in low light, and my favorite AMS patch. Now just opening this up here, you'll see it contains a battery. So taking out the battery for a second, show you the compartment. So that's where you store the battery or night vision goggle batteries back there. And then in a little hook and loop section in there is actually a pocket for a counterweight should you need it. Now my battery pack kind of acts as a counterweight to my GoPro in the front, which really isn't that heavy. So I don't really need to put a real counterweight in there. Now looking at the battery itself, I also get a lot of questions about this. Now this is an Anker 2nd Gen Astro 2 9000 mAh external battery pack. Now what's cool about this is a couple things. It has a couple features. One, it's 9,000 mAh. To put that in perspective, that's about 7.5 GoPro batteries. I actually wish I had seen this or figured this system out before seeing Airsoftology Jonathan do it, before I spent a whole bunch of money on GoPro batteries, because this thing cost about the same as 1.5 GoPro batteries. And you get about 7.5 GoPro batteries out of it. So, I mean, it's a great deal. Now, the cool things about this thing is this. One, it has an auto sleep feature. So while it's plugged in, if it's not needed, it goes to sleep, so it's not constantly discharging and running out its battery. All it takes is a quick shake and it turns itself on. So the second thing is this. The Anker's output matches the output of a GoPro, which means while this is plugged into your GoPro, it is charging the GoPro battery within the camera just as fast as it's outputting. So it's technically as if this battery is running your GoPro. Now to put that in perspective and why that's awesome, that allowed me to record all of the weekend of Faded Giant 3 without recharging once or recharging any of my batteries. And I never changed the battery that was in the GoPro camera itself. We are talking 2.5 approximately days full of GoPro footage without changing batteries and without recharging this Anker battery pack. That is friggin' awesome. And that's one of the biggest advantages of running a system like this. For those of you who run GoPros out in the field, you'll know how much power they drain out of batteries, and just so how annoyingly often you have to change those batteries. Well, this system virtually eliminates that. And again, at the end of the day, even if you had to buy a second one of these, it's cheaper than investing in 2 or 3 or 4 more GoPro batteries that will require you to get even half of the amount of power you get out of one of these. So by far you can get 2 of these and never have to change a GoPro battery ever in your life again. The GoPro itself, which is a Hero 3 Plus Black Edition, which I run in 1080p 60 frames per second with Super View turned on, which is a Hero 3 Black feature. It gives a bigger field of view so people can kind of, when watching my first person shots, get a bigger sense of what's going on around me rather than just a pigeonhole of maybe what's directly in front of me. Now I use the GoPro night vision mount to mount that to the base jump helmet mount there. The case that I use is actually kind of important. It's the GoPro skeletonized case. You know, it costs a little bit of extra money, and by that I mean like 60 bucks. Is it worth it? No, it's a piece of plastic, but it gives me some features that I actually did want, which is the cutout sides, which allows the microphone to pick up more without me adding an external microphone. I'm big on not adding things I don't need. This makes it so I don't need an external microphone for my stuff to sound good. The second thing it allows me to do is plug in this USB cable without cutting a hole in the original case. Now, cutting a hole is totally fine. If you have an original case, just be careful. Make sure you're cutting a hole large enough, just like the skeletonized case has. So what this does for me is it allows me to plug in this USB cable, bloop, which I've routed underneath the shock cord of my helmet cover all the way to the back, underneath, into the bottom of my battery case, and then I've looped it in there just to take up some of the excess, looped it around, back down, and plugs in the top here. A quick note about this cable specifically. It doesn't really matter which one you buy except for one specific thing, and that is the cable that you do pick up has to be rated for a USB 2.0 or 3.0 connection, which means it can transfer the power quick enough to recharge the GoPro as quick as the battery can actually output that power. Other than that, pick something that has the smallest connectors just so that way it's not in the way. But other than that, whatever floats your boat, you know, something durable. So there you have it. There's my helmet and my GoPro setup. Like I said, I'll probably be switching out this helmet to a real one at some point in 2015, but I'm in no rush right now. May swap the Hero 3 out for a Hero 4, but again, in no rush to do that either. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below as always, guys.
So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little overview of my GoPro and helmet setup. It's the setup that actually allows me to focus on the gameplay rather than changing batteries while I'm collecting footage. Now, this setup was actually inspired by my friend Jonathan over at Airsoftology. I highly recommend you check out his content if you haven't before. I'll put the link to Airsoftology's channel below for your ease. Still coming down the pipes in terms of reviews, I'm going to take some time to do a thorough review of my custom Beyond Combat set in Multicam Tropic. I also have a ton of gameplay footage still to come from my experiences at Faded Giant 3, so be on the lookout for that very soon, possibly even in the next few days. As always, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to stop by and check out my content. Do me a huge solid, like, subscribe, and share. It keeps me happy in this YouTube game. And until next time, guys, keep having fun playing Airsoft, being good community members, and defend what you love. Later, guys.